Now it's a troubling time in WWE as a fallout from the Vince McMahon lawsuit continues to spread and the WWE has to answer a tough question. What to do with Vincent Kennedy McMahon and his legacy? Should he be erased from WWE? Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos. A presumption of innocence. But first, it's essential to remember that McMahon has the presumption of innocence as former WWE employee Janelle Grant is suing McMahon and John Laurinaitis for alleged misconduct and the WWE for failing to act despite allegedly knowing about the misconduct. And there may be other legal action as well, as according to the 2nd February Wall Street Journal report, federal authorities have been investigating sexual assault and sex trafficking allegations against WWE co-founder Vince McMahon, according to people familiar with the investigation. Prosecutors in New York in recent months have been in contact with women who have accused McMahon of sexual misconduct, the people said. One of the problems with McMahon's case is a text he allegedly sent Miss Grant. Some of these texts are shocking, and even if McMahon were to win any legal proceedings, they could destroy any chance of him returning to the WWE. However, it's important to note that these texts have not been verified. It's a complicated case, which means we need to address it based on the best case scenario, the worst case scenario, and the areas in between. First, let's look at the best case scenario. The best case scenario would involve Vince McMahon being cleared of all charges and the alleged text being shown to be fabricated or otherwise discredited. At that point, the WWE would still want to distance itself from Vince McMahon despite his 4+ decades guiding the WWE to incredible heights. The reason is clear. McMahon was still involved in the hush money scandal of 2022 and he projects an image that TKO Holdings and any of the WWE's corporate partners are unlikely to want to be involved with, especially right away. But that doesn't mean that Vince's unparalleled contributions to the WWE should be ignored. In this scenario, the WWE should take the time heals all wounds approach and allow a cooling off period before actively mentioning him or featuring him in interviews for WWE documentaries and such. They may even consider inducting him into its Hall of Fame, although it's unlikely even in the best case scenario as the WWE is part of TKO Holdings. What about the worst case scenario? A worst case scenario would see McMahon found guilty of the civil suit filed against him by Janelle Grant, with a court also confirming the texts allegedly sent by McMahon to Miss Grant are verified. In this scenario, the WWE would likely do what any corporation does when someone is involved in a scandal: pretend it never existed. McMahon's case is considerably different because he played a part in the WWE programming for decades, first as an announcer and later as an on-screen character, and as we're about to see, this heavy involvement in the company presents a potentially insurmountable challenge. So let's look at it by parts. Firstly, should WWE erase McMahon's commentary? Regarding the commentary, the WWE could stop showing any programming with McMahon providing commentary, which would be substantial as he provided commentary on the WWE syndicated programming, Saturday Night's Main Event, and then later Monday Night Raw. They could also dub over McMahon's commentary with a current announcer who parrots McMahon's commentary. Now, this would be very awkward at best, but the WWE could also dub over all McMahon-related programming, replacing everyone's commentary with commentary by current WWE commentators. This would also be awkward, but not as much as dubbing over McMahon. Another solution is to post a disclaimer before each show acknowledging McMahon's presence, much as it occasionally posts a disclaimer on vintage wrestling content noting it reflected the sensibilities of the era, and this was long before the current allegations against McMahon became public. Should they erase the Mr. McMahon character? More troubling is McMahon's presence on WWE TV and his Mr. McMahon character. Vince McMahon's Mr. McMahon character typically played a heel in wrestling, but how will viewers or anyone who is proven to be a victim of any misconduct on his part react to seeing Mr. McMahon act in a sleazy way that may not be much different than what he's being accused of? The WWE may feel it has no choice but to remove any content with McMahon from TV. There's a precedent for erasing offensive content from past WWE programming either by WWE itself or its corporate partners. For example, Peacock removing certain content from the WWE network when it obtained the streaming rights to thousands of hours of programming. It'll be difficult to erase McMahon's many appearances on WWE TV, but TKO Holdings may just do that to distance itself from McMahon. Ironically, this would be an even stricter approach than WWE did with Chris Benoit after his horrific acts emerged. While the WWE has downplayed Benoit's legacy, the company hasn't removed him from WWE programming. Given the Benoit precedent, the WWE could leave McMahon in WWE programming, erasing the most offensive segments likely to trigger memories of any proven wrongdoing. Certain McMahon segments have been erased before the current scandal broke, including McMahon's use of the N-word and the segment where he humiliated Trish Stratus. Will the WWE erase McMahon's legacy to the promotion? While the WWE may keep McMahon in its vast library of programming, it's extremely likely that WWE will do everything possible to remove him from the company's history. In some cases, this may be impossible, such as official histories of the company. For example, how would a WWE-sponsored history of the company omit Vince's contributions to the company from the time he purchased it from his father to his resignation? In a situation like this, the WWE would likely make as brief a mention of McMahon as possible and generalize the many contributions he's made. It should be obvious that Vince McMahon won't be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame, and there will be no mention of him going forward on TV, in company publications, and any WWE features such as documentaries. As we've seen, McMahon's heavy involvement in WWE programming will be a challenge akin to the one of 12 labors of Hercules. TKO Holdings management is likely already at work evaluating how to manage the situation. While this video isn't about whether Endeavor officials were aware of the allegations made against McMahon during its merger talks with the WWE, it's worth noting that Endeavor faces additional challenges related to the McMahon lawsuit. Endeavor could come off looking either incredibly ignorant in its due diligence before merging with the WWE, or it could be found negligent. Either way, TKO Holdings may feel it has to take extreme measures to distance itself from McMahon, regardless of how it affects the WWE's vast library of content. There's also the question of any criminal charges being filed against McMahon and/or any additional lawsuits. If McMahon is criminally charged and found guilty, TKO will have no choice but to dump anything to do with McMahon, going so far as to erase enormous amounts of WWE content. What about somewhere in between? There are also scenarios besides the best case and the worst case scenarios just mentioned. If Vince McMahon prevails at trial in a civil and/or criminal trial, then there's still the matter of the texts he's allegedly made. If these are verified as emanating from McMahon, it's a terrible look not only for him but for the WWE. As we've noted in our news videos, Brock Lesnar may be finished with the WWE merely due to the content on the text he allegedly made, and these have not been verified. The content of the McMahon's text is considered worse, which means the WWE will distance itself from him as much as possible initially. They could scrub him from its library of content, but such a move seems too drastic based on how much content it will have to remove or alter, or it might likely erase particularly offensive content. There is also TKO's challenge. There will be no easy solutions for TKO Holdings as it addresses how to deal with the allegations being made against Vince McMahon. There's a case to be made that either Endeavor created this problem on how to deal with the fallout from the current McMahon mess by a haphazard job of due diligence in the company's assets and liabilities, or turning a blind eye to McMahon's history, including the NDAs he executed before the Endeavor WWE merger. There's also increasing attention on TKO Holdings' knowledge for the allegations against McMahon, with some critics pointing to McMahon's presence at the announcement of the Netflix deal. TKO Holdings may have other problems ahead besides McMahon, including how the lawsuit against the WWE prevails, whether any shareholder suits will be filed, or whether the stock will take a hit in light of the current crisis. There's also the possibility that other WWE officials could be sued and/or charged, causing further problems. Indeed, Endeavor may regret its decision to partner with the WWE and seek a way to end its merger. However, that's a question for down the road. What do you guys think of the challenge facing WWE? Should Vince be erased? Let us know in the comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.